Yo, people, welcome back to another stream of Two Up Front. I'm your host, Ace, and as always, I'm with my brother Major. How are you doing today, my guy?
Hey man, you know how it goes, bro. Less than highly favored. I've actually been, like I was saying earlier, I've been ill this week. So yeah, it was rough earlier, but I'm on the recovery, and yeah, obviously a lot of footy to talk about. So that's a plus. So yeah, man, what are you telling me?
Nah, man, I'm happy that you're on the mend, man, because there's definitely a lot for us to get into, and I need you at your utmost already. Because I definitely want to get a lot of your takes on the different fixtures. Because obviously we love speaking about football, but we try to keep our conversations to these streams. So it would be nice to kind of get your thoughts on a lot of the big fixtures, big results this weekend. Like I think Europe definitely didn't disappoint. Like there's been a lot
hmm
of talk about this new format, but yeah, man, when you get to the quarterfinals, it's still the quarterfinals. So
hmm
definitely a lot for us to get into and then touch, and then we'll get into the Premier League, kind of see, because I think the Premier League wise, what's interesting to me is what's going to happen with this top five race, because we're getting to that point in the season where no one wants it, everyone's slipping up, and then you have these like teams beneath it as well that are looking like, oh, they have a shout for these European spots as well. So I feel like it'd be interesting to kind of touch on that and see like kind of where we think that's gonna go. So we can touch on that a little bit. Then as always, we'll end the stream with a little FPL chat, talk about what happened last weekend, what's going well, what's not going too well, all of that, man. So I think it should definitely be a very interesting stream. So I think we should just get straight into it, man. Obviously, like I said, a lot of very, very big results, a lot of big teams that you didn't expect to get dropped, got dropped. So some tight matches. But hey, man, me as a biased Arsenal fan, there's only one place that I want to start. Because, I don't know if you caught it. I did my match reaction after that game. And yeah,
hmm
man, I was so happy. I couldn't believe it. But before I kind of give my take, I wanted to get from your side, your like take on the match, what you thought, like, did it play out how you thought it was gonna play out? Like, did anything surprise you? Yeah, just like Let me know. Let me know what you were thinking about that game. Then we'll get into it.
I think firstly, I think it's important to like set the context or like kind of set what not just what my feeling was, but I think what a lot of people's feelings was ahead of the game. And I think that was a thing of the Premier League had been quite boring. The matchups have been quite lackluster. Obviously, we'll probably speak about the Manchester Derby a little bit, but yeah, not a very good game. We'd seen Chelsea, Tottenham that disappointed. A lot of the big six fixtures had disappointed. Arsenal, Everton wasn't a really good game. Like, I think, and there was so much conversation regarding, you know what, there's just a lack of individual brilliance in the Prem. There's a lack of risk taking. There's a lack of mavericks and everything is so system based. It's so controlled. Players aren't willing to take chances. And I think the Champions League, just in general, yeah, man, it was just so refreshing to see football played in a style and at a level that football lovers like to see it being played at. And I think the Arsenal and Real Madrid game was a good starting point for that. And I think it was a brilliant game. Like it was a brilliant game of football from a neutral standpoint. Like just even talking about the game of football, I think it was a great game of football to watch. Like I was entertained. And I'm gonna firstly give credit to Mikel Arteta because I was actually expecting him to set up much more pragmatically. I thought, again, we've seen Arsenal's strengths this season as regards to your defense and you being solid at the back. And we know what Madrid can do in the Champions League. We know the quality of players that they have. And I was expecting like a different tactical approach. But oh my days, bruv. Arsenal were brilliant. They were brilliant. Like they were actually brilliant. Like the pressing, like there was no fear. Martinelli was having a goal. Saka had Alaba on toast. Thomas Partey, absolutely amazing. We're going to speak about Rice, obviously, with the free kicks. Timber, like just the whole team, honestly, as a collective, the way they approached that game, it was a shock because they literally said, all right, cool, you know what? You've come to our house. We're going to have a go at you. And yeah, I wasn't expecting that approach from Arsenal, like especially based on the evidence that we've seen this season. And I've got to give Mikel Arteta a lot of credit for that because, yeah, like they easily, especially with like the injuries that we've spoken about with Gabriel, like it could have been a different approach, but nah, like Arsenal, there was no fear in their play. They were aggressive and they really went for it. And honestly, 3-0 flattered Madrid.
No, it did. It did. It did.
It flattered
I was
them.
gonna jump on that because I think even
Mhm.
with the free kicks again, set pieces, like again, we'll
Mhm.
touch on that properly. But even watching that game, Courtois had to be making some ridiculous
Yeah,
save. I feel like if you
yeah.
look at the balance of chances in the match, it was clear that Arsenal were the deserved winners. Like I think the clearest one that comes to mind is when Mbappe runs through in like half an hour into the match, and then Raya pulls off a really big save, which at that moment in the
Oh
game was
yeah,
a
Bellingham put
big
him.
save.
Yeah, Bellingham. I felt like that was a. I felt like that was a bad finish by Mbappe. Like I felt like like he didn't pick the corner. Like like you know he likes that near post finish, but he never really went for that. He didn't go for like the typical Henry finesse to
Mm.
the outside post. Like it just went straight into the middle. So it was a really timid affair. And yeah, like if they scored that, then obviously the dynamic of the game may change a little bit. But I'm still not going to take anything away from Arsenal because I think, yeah, just overall, when you look at the game, like the chances that were generated, how the teams played, and even when we're talking about this level of competition, we're talking about matchups, we're talking about a chance for players to stake their claim as regards to different ranks. When people are
Mm.
throwing out titles as, this player is top 5 in this position or top 3 in this position, or when people are using terms like world class, like these are the type of games where you stack your CV. And I
Mm.
feel like when I look at this game, there were several Arsenal players where, yep, this goes straight onto their CV. You look at Rice, of
Okay, yeah,
course, with
that
what
was gonna
he's
be the
done.
question. So a very, very
Rice,
simple question, bro.
what
Is
have he's
Rice
done?
world class?
I feel like with Rice, I feel like he's he's got obviously a lot of qualities, and I feel like he's adding and adding. I'm not gonna jump. Like, do you get me? I'm gonna like I don't because with me, I'm someone where it's like I really don't like just dishing the world class thingy out. We've already had a conversation about loads of different people have different definitions as regards to what world class is. I feel like I'm more on the very like pragmatic side, whereas like I just don't want to like I'd I like to leave it to like more of the furthest moment before I start
Mm.
giving it to people. But I don't even want that to detract from like how good he was like in this match because yeah, I think again when you're looking at the top midfielders, they all have those type of moments. Like you're talking about a Rodri Champions League final winning goal. When people are speaking about Scholes, Barcelona semi-final, bang, when United needed him the most, he pops up there, goal. You're speaking about a Gerrard, you know what he done with Liverpool in the final, and then obviously against Olympiacos, even to go through as well. Boom, steps up when needed them. Like Lampard, Champions League final, like all of these guys, like when it's the big moments, when it's like, all right, cool, we need something, those type of players step up. And you know what I absolutely love
What?
about the free kicks? I think it's what Rice said afterwards when he was speaking about the discussions that were taking place regarding the set pieces. And I think it was particularly the first one they were talking about, where it was like, all right, cool. They had discussions. I think Odegaard suggested that, okay, yeah, you know what, it might be a crossing thing. And then Yova as well, I think he was trying to say, yeah, you know what, go for the cross. And then I think Bakayo just said to Declan Rice, you know what, if you're feeling it, just hit it. And that's exactly what he did. And when we're talking about football a lot of the time, when everything is so system based, and of course, there's a place for it. Like people will look at the data, they'll look at the percentages, and they'll say, all right, cool, you know what? This is such a low probability. So we're not going to take this approach and we're going to take that approach and etc. But again, I feel like this is football. Like when you've got the gut feeling, when you're feeling it, when you just say, all right, you know what? I'm just I'm just gonna go for it. Like those are the rewards that you get. And again, the second one was just like a heat check. Because when the first one went in, and let me talk about the quality of the first one, because yeah, the way it bent round the wall, and I
Bro,
know people have mentioned the wall and said there should have been another player in the wall, and maybe it should have been moved across, which I think is fair points, but I still don't want to take away from the quality of the free kick.
yeah.
Because yeah, the way it bent round, literally, and then returns back in, and then yeah,
Yeah, bro,
brilliant
like I was
free kick.
saying, if you look at the saves that Courtois was pulling off in this game, to
Yeah,
even beat a keeper of that caliber, you know that the free
yeah,
kick had to be ridiculous. So yeah, I
yeah,
think that even further proves that it was he hit like
yeah,
magnificently. It was crazy when he hit that free kick.
bro. Great free kick. But bro, you see the second free kick,
Mm.
and this is not any sort of exaggeration, bro. You know, I've been watching football for a very long time. That's one of the best free kicks I've ever seen. That second free kick is stupid,
Bro,
bro.
have you seen the freeze
It's
frame? Have you seen the
stupid.
freeze frame when
Yes,
the
bro.
ball is like
It's
it's actually a
stupid.
postage stamp?
It's
Like when
bro,
people say
it's
postage stamp,
stupid.
it was a postage stamp. Like
Bro,
no keeper in the world is ever going
bro,
to get close to
it's
that.
stupid. And you
Like
know what it is? It's not even just the postage stamp thing. It's not that he actually got it right into the top corner. It's the power, the whip that he gets on it as well. Like, to do that, it's crazy. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Like, yeah, man. Like, that was and of course, because of the occasion, like, it makes it so much more bigger, because obviously you're doing it in a Champions League quarterfinal against Real Madrid. But yeah, like, when you're looking at it and thinking, rah, that's perfect. Like, do you get me? Like, you've hit a perfect free kick. Like, I remember seeing free kicks. Like, obviously, I think a lot of people have even spoken about it post match. But Messi's one against Liverpool. Like, do you get me? In the Champions League semi final 2019, obviously Barca didn't end up going through because Liverpool came back, corner taken quickly. We know how
mm,
the
mm,
rest,
mm.
how everything happened. But yeah, I remember seeing that free kick. I remember watching that and thinking, oh my days, bruv, like, incredible. But yeah, like, this one was stupid. Like, it was absolutely stupid. Like, bro, I don't think I've ever seen two free kicks in a match of that quality
Like, bro, like
ever.
I said it in my match reaction that after the first one, I thought, okay, all right, son,
Yeah.
lightning doesn't strike twice, brother. Let's hand this
Mm-hmm.
off to someone else before you embarrass us here and they say, oh, it was pure luck. But bro,
Mm-hmm.
he said, nah, I'll do it again, and even better free kick the second time. So yeah, nah,
Yeah.
the quality was ridiculous. It was
Nah.
ridiculous.
It was so good. And yeah, like, literally, again, when I look at those free kicks, I was just like, yeah, where has this been, Rice, bro? Like, do you get me? I saw like you lot hadn't scored a direct free kick since 2021.
Bro, remember? I
I was
think
just like,
we had this conversation when I remember there was one match where you asked me like, "Oh, who are the free kick takers?" Like, "Oh, who's gonna?" I said, "Bro, there's nobody here." Like, I think Odegaard scored one like 3 years ago, and since then, nobody has stepped up. So nah, and you know what? At the same time too, like you also like have to appreciate like Rice's like dead ball like technique is ridiculous in general anyway. I think we've spoken about it more specifically when it comes to his corners, his
Mhm,
crosses. But he clearly just took all of that and said, you know what, this time I'm not going for the cross. I'm gonna put all these attributes that I have and just knuckle it. And that's what he
mhm,
did in both occasions. So yeah, nah, he's like it really does show, like you say, like in terms of the numbers of like football now. And there's so many like different tactics that teams are trying to implement to, I guess, increase the chances of them getting their goals, even if it doesn't mean directly through open play. Remember that
mhm,
set piece is a phase of play as well, and
mhm,
clearly he's just maximized that skill to the max now. Where it looks like
mhm,
whether it's a cross, whether maybe now whether it's a shooting position, he's going to be a
mhm,
big threat from it. So again, that's definitely a bow in his arsenal now. That's going to be very dangerous, and teams are going to be very concerned now because then now you also have that like guessing factor of is he going to cross this or is he going to just try and knuckle it? And then
mhm,
how do you set up against that as well? So yeah, nah. I think for younger players, it's just another reminder that these are the kind of skill sets that you want to definitely be working on as well because it's all nice
mhm,
dribbling and open play goals, but these set piece goals are what has put Arsenal in such a strong position now to go through against Real Madrid because as good as
mhm,
we were, as good as a balance of play suggests that we should have scored more chances and we should have been ahead, it was
mhm.
still 0-0 at that point. And it was the
Yeah.
quality of those set pieces that pushed us over the line. And then now we're in
Mhm,
such a positive position. So,
mhm.
big fair play to Rice.
Yeah, nah, and like I said again, like obviously there's much more to happen, and yeah, like there's many more. There's obviously a second leg to be played, and potentially future games to be played in the Champions League. And yeah, we're gonna see how everything plays out. But yeah, as regards to this match, those are the type of things that you put on your CV when you're talking about a player's credibility, when you're talking about a player's ability to live up to the moment, when you're talking about, oh, what did they do when they faced this team? What did they do when they got to this stage of this competition? These are the things that you put on your CV, literally. And what Rice has done here, you can't take away from him. It's on his CV. It's there. Like, do you get me? It's there. When my team needed me, I stepped up twice and I produced two moments of the highest quality. That's there. Again, when you're looking at the great English central midfielders and you look at their CVs, they've all got that at different moments of their careers. When you're looking at Scholes, like I said, Barcelona, when you're looking at Gerrard, Istanbul, Milan, Olympiacos, like when you look at these midfielders, they've had those moments when they stepped up. Roy Keane, treble season 1999, even though he knew he was going to be suspended for the final, rose up against Juve, legacy game on his CV. And Rice, that's the type of thing that when people are having future debates, when people are saying this and that, he's gonna come and say, "All right, remember that night when everyone said that we were gonna lose to Real Madrid? You do remember that, right? You remember what I did? All right, cool. Just don't forget." So fair play to him, credit to him. Another person who had
Hey,
another legacy game, Bakayo, because when you are being put in conversations with the best players in the world and we're talking about, where is Bakayo when we're talking about players of this position and on the right wing or left wing or just wingers in general, like where would you put Saka? And I think firstly, I loved his response to the press conference prior to the game when I think they were asking him about, oh, like with players like Vinicius and Rodrigo, and it's like, oh, like, I don't want to misquote, but essentially, I think it was along the lines of, oh, what do you think that you need to do to kind of like what's the gap? Like, do you get me between you and yours? And Saka, like he heard the question and
yeah, he didn't like it.
his face was like, what? Like, do you
He
get
didn't
me?
like it.
And I love that because again, it doesn't even this is not even about where you rank Vinicius and Saka and Rodrigo and whoever. This isn't about that. This is about what Saka believes. That this is all about what Saka believes. Saka needs to believe that he's levels with them or better than them. That's what he needs to believe. It doesn't matter what we think. It doesn't matter where we rank him when we're talking about all of these players. It's about what he believes. And he clearly believes that he's levels. And he clearly believes that, you know what, I can chat to anyone. And here we saw someone who was like, all right, cool, you know what? Even though I've been injured for however long, even though um I'm not fully match fit and I'm still building up my full fitness, bruv. I'm gonna show people why I'm worth the hype. I'm gonna show people why Arsenal fans were getting excited and jittery that I potentially might be back for the Madrid tie. I'm going to validate all of their excitement. That's what I'm going to do. And bro, Alaba couldn't live with him. I felt sorry for Alaba as well. Been a great player, and he's been out
Yeah,
for a very long time as well.
yeah,
So I felt like it was harsh on him to have that assignment. Like, do you get me? After being out for so long. But oh my gosh, he was getting cooked.
yeah. He
Oh
was.
my gosh, he
He
was
was.
getting cooked.
He was. It
And
wasn't pretty.
again, Saka, when you're talking about like decisiveness and just knowing what to do in the right moments, like he's just so intelligent, like knowing when to come inside, knowing when to go back on his outside. Right foot, he's very comfortable. I remember when he put that dangerous ball across the box, he's just waiting for a tap in. Great ball there. But yeah, man, he's someone that really stood up to all of the pressure. And even though he didn't score, both free kicks were won by him. And that was by him just being adventurous. And again,
Yeah.
like in this game full of systems and tactics, sometimes what it takes is someone picking a ball up and just trying to beat players, which is what happened. And then someone saying, you know what, I'm going to smash it like Rice. And that's what happened. And that's just individual moments of brilliance. That's
Mm.
players taking responsibility and saying, you know what, we're going to do something about this. So Saka, that's another player. Another player.
Okay.
The final one I'm going to talk about because
Okay.
I could be here all day. But another player, legacy game, where his CV is very, very, it's in its early stages, but it's a
Talk about
nice
my
thing
guy,
to
man.
already put there, is Miles Lewis Skelly. Because, and again, this is why when all of these pundits and all of these critics are trying to tell him, you know what, don't celebrate. Who are you? You've not achieved nothing. How dare you celebrate? How dare you answer back to Haaland when he told you who the F are you? How dare you score and then celebrate afterwards? This is why you've got to protect him and let him remain, because I think it's clear. I've seen a lot of interviews by his mum, and from the outside looking in, it looks like she's done an amazing job, and his dad, in raising him and maintaining his confidence. And I saw an interview by his mum, and his mum said that he's very much like a manifester. Like, do you get me? He backs himself. He likes to manifest things. So they've clearly put that in him, and they've put that within his spirit. So, and he's someone that has a lot of self-belief, and he's got a lot of personality. And again, I've not seen anything as regards to him misbehaving, etc. So this image that they were trying to paint of him because he wants to do a celebration, I was always gonna be fully against it, because like I said before, I know exactly what you lot are trying to do. Seen it with Saka, seen it with Rashford, seen it with Sterling. So don't ever try that. And two, you need players like that to maintain that fire in their belly, that personality, because it's that same fire in his belly, it's that same personality that let him say, you know what, Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinicius, I don't care. Give me the ball. Let me run things. It's that
Bro.
same personality that said, what? Megs, cool. Martinelli, take the shot. Boom. It's that same personality that had him locking up top talent, that had him inverting into midfield and driving the ball forward and playing like a player who is 10 years more than the age of 18. Those are the things that, do you get me? Those are the traits that clearly you can see have been instilled from him from young. And that's why you don't ever want to dampen a personality like that. Like, do you get me? But yeah, that was another great game as well. So he was brilliant. So overall, and Timber was great. Literally,
Yeah,
like
bro. Like, that's why I feel like we can actually go
everyone.
through the whole team, because I
Yeah,
think
no,
even beat a team like Madrid, you need a whole
and
team performance. But go
and
on.
you know, and I was about to say, I did the only, and I won't get onto him too much. Do
Oh
you
my
get me?
boy.
But the only person who was, but again, Arsenal done
You-
the job. But you can
mm.
see it on the graphic, even like the only person in the Arsenal team that I didn't think was a bit was a
Hey
bit
man, dude, don't
abroad.
look at my boy. Don't look at my boy. Bro, he was doing the work that doesn't go into the stats. That's what happened,
I feel
bro.
like that was,
The work that doesn't go into the stats. Don't worry
I
about that.
feel, I feel like he was the only one where I was like, ooh. But yeah, Mourinho as well. I think that finish,
Bro, it was
crazy.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
Crazy.
It was
Like he
beautiful.
stepped up. So yeah, man, Saliba as well. No Gabriel.
Bro,
Like,
he had to hold Kivio's hand a couple of times. He said, brother, I'm
yeah,
gonna get
man.
you through this game. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He was a leader.
And that's what the top centre backs do, man. So again, man, like, and I've got to give credit to Arteta as well, like I said, because I think I wasn't. It's not even. I never thought I wasn't looking at this game. Pardon me. I wasn't looking at this game thinking, oh, this is gonna be a easy win for Madrid or anything like that. And it wasn't even a shock that Arsenal won, but I didn't expect them to win like that. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not even just talking about even the 3-0. Even if it was 1-0, I still wasn't expecting you to win like that, playing like that. I feel like that was the big thing, because you can win 3-0 and you can sit back and you might have 3 individual moments of brilliance, but that wasn't the story of the game here. Like, bruv, Madrid got absolutely torn apart. Like,
They
they
did.
got torn apart. So honestly, if I was an Arsenal fan, yeah, man, like I would have been absolutely delighted with that. Like, do you get me? Again, it's probably best Emirates result like since
Yeah,
the
definitely.
Barca win
Yeah,
in what, 2011, I think it was, when
yeah.
Arshavin got the winner. So yeah, like again, bro, yeah. Even as a rival fan, I was like, you know what, fair enough. And again, in a climate where I was just looking at football thinking, bruv, all these games are so boring. Everyone is just so safe. No one is taking risks. And I'm so happy Rice told Yova, you know what, it's not adapting. And he's just said, I am gonna smash this. And it's funny because I heard it as well on the TV. I don't know if you heard it, but I actually did hear it, that before Rice took the free kick, I heard like someone, like a fan, shout, "Smash it, Declan!" Like
Nah, I
literally,
didn't hear that.
yeah, I heard it. Like, yeah, smash it, Declan, and then yeah, literally done the
Nah,
thing.
yeah,
So
but
no, full,
he smashed it.
yeah, no, fair play to Arsenal, man. Full credit to them. I don't think no one can take that performance away from you guys. No one can take the result away from you guys. It was fully deserved. Like, honestly, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be absolutely delighted. So fair play.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And yeah, I feel like you summarized it very, very well. And yeah, touched on all the players I was going to touch on. So yeah, I think we go on to the next game now. We say 3-0 up. We just go do a mature job in Madrid. We keep it moving. I feel like the only thing that I guess surprised me in this game, because as much as you said Arsenal's approach, I think it was Madrid's approach that really surprised me, because I also feel like they came with like a very negative, I guess, mentality as well of, okay, cool, let's let us be the team that parks the bus and tries to hit them on the break, which I was surprised about as well, because I thought they were going to try and impose themselves a bit more on us as well, just in terms of the caliber and quality of plays they had. But I think they went for the safer approach of, okay, cool, even if we take a point back, we'll deal with them in Madrid. That kind of felt like the energy, and I felt like that was, obviously in hindsight, it was the wrong one, because yeah, I think they played into our hands a bit more in terms of, yeah, because Arsenal was so aggressive and they were so defensively minded. It was kind of like it was on them to really try and nick the breakaway goals, if that makes sense, rather than them imposing their football on us. So yeah, in hindsight, it was definitely probably a mistake by Ancelotti. But hey, I'm thankful for it. The one player that I went to, even though it's so funny because you got a red, bro. Oh my god, Kamavinga. In that first half as well, he was another big reason why it was even still no at half time, because he was an absolute problem. But then he lost his head in the end, and yeah, we thank God for that. So yeah, I think he was gonna miss the next game anyway, but now he's definitely probably missing the
Yeah,
rest
yeah, it's gonna
the
miss.
rest of
Yeah.
it. So, but yeah, all in all, man, definitely a massive win for Arsenal. Massive credit to Arteta. And yeah, man, we continue, man. Like we said, Europe is our one thing to play for this season. We'll get into that when we get into the Premier League, but so it's nice to have this dream alive. We can keep on dreaming for another few weeks. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. But moving on from
So
Arsenal,
look,
because
very quickly, bro. The
yeah,
only last thing I'll say as well is that I just, for the second leg, you just need to be sensible, like,
yeah, yeah,
because that, like, Bernabeu is a crazy place, like, so just need to be sensible. Like, do you
yeah.
get?
I think that's what it is.
Don't let it turn into like any sort of a dogfight, like,
Yeah.
because you don't want to do that over there. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I feel like if it
yeah.
was smart, yeah, we were defensive and then yeah, we try to nick a goal. I think we get one goal, we go through. It's one of them
Mm,
ones
mm,
that as long as yeah, as long as we can do that, we manage to get a goal. And I think defensively too, they're gonna go for it, so that should also give us an opportunity. So it's just on us to finish that chance when it comes. But
mhm,
yeah, I would like to think that yeah, we should. But yeah, like you said, it's Madrid, so you can't count your chickens too early. But yeah, I think we've definitely put ourselves in an amazing position to get through to the next round. And that's what you can really ask for from this game. So fair play Arsenal, fair play Arteta. And yeah, man, we move. But yeah, moving on to the other European fixtures very quickly before we get into the Premier League, because yeah, like you said, I think Europe in general was just so entertaining, like this game week. There were so many good games, there were so many big wins, and understand. I feel like the next game that probably caught my interest the most, and obviously I know this one is probably going to be a sore one for you, because I know we always speak about your love for Villa, you know what I'm saying, and like you wanting them to continue on this journey, this David versus Goliath kind of battle that they're going on in Europe, but unfortunately, I don't. I guess my question for you in this one was just like, I guess firstly, because like you were saying about the quality, the individual quality, the goals in this game are Due. Okay, about Chelia, obviously his name, and what's it like? There was just, even a third goal, like by Mendy was nasty as well. So Mendes,
Mendes.
yeah, even all of that, man. So like the goals, the qualities in this game, and then yeah, that third goal, just how costly do you think that is for Villa? Them conceding that towards the end of the game, like, do you think that's like it's curtains? I think at 2-1, I was still like, okay, cool, it's gonna be difficult, but you bring it back home. But I don't know with that third goal what you're thinking. But yeah, what was your take on that PSG Villa game? I think that was another very, very good match. Very quickly.
I'm a massive fan of this PSG side. Like, I think, yeah, man, the football that I've been seeing from them, it's brilliant. Like, honestly, like, absolutely brilliant. And as you will probably be able to recall, I don't think you watched the match, but I did. And that first leg against Liverpool, bro, like, they absolutely battered them. Like, yeah, like they absolutely battered them. And the difference between this leg and that leg is that they were able to put the ball in the back of the net. But yeah, so as regards to the level of performance from PSG, I'm not surprised at all. Like, they've got a quality team. I think you look at that midfield, technicians, you look at that front three, it's fluid, it's dynamic. You've got Mavericks, you've got skill. Again, like all of these things. And fair play to Enrique as well, because he's got them super organized. Like, that press is absolutely suffocating, bro. It's so coordinated, it's relentless. They don't give you a second to breathe. And I felt for Villa because it was giving me flashbacks of, I remember when United played Barca in the Champions League final, and I remember feeling like that, like, oh my gosh, we can't hold on to the ball. Like, do you get me? Like, they can't, bruv, they just can't, they're swarming us. Like, do you get me? Every single time. And bro, it's horrible to play against. Like, when you play against a team that can press like that aggressively and they're that comfortable in possession, is an absolute nightmare. So yeah, I think it was a well-deserved win for PSG. 3-1 definitely doesn't flatter them at all. I think the third goal for Villa obviously is a bad knockout. It's a bad third goal to concede, sorry. But as regards to the context of, you were very close to just obviously taking it back to Villa Park with the 2-1 result. But at the same time, it was thoroughly deserved. Like, yeah, PSG deserved to get that third goal because, yeah, like that performance merited having at least a 2-goal lead. So yeah, man, like incredible performance. I think honestly, in like out of the European teams, PSG and Barca are my two favorite teams to watch. So it's
Mm.
like, yeah, so yeah, like I always love watching PSG. So it's harsh on Villa, but I think also at the same time, I think Villa just got shown levs. Like, I think
Mm.
that's what it was. Like, they just got shown
Mm.
levs. I think Emery tactically, like I think they were defending very well. It was a very good goal that they did score, because I think McGinn was aggressive in his press, won no ball back, was able to send it out wide. Lovely, nice interchange between Rashford and Tielemans. Tielemans, great ball across the box. Rogers, far post tapping. Like, it was a very well executed goal. So I think, yeah, like they would have been extremely happy with that. But with what Due did, there's nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah.
And then I think the one mistake Emery did make was that Disassi decision
Yeah.
at
Do
right.
we was there injury? What do
I,
we know?
I,
Do we know
I
what
think
happened there?
it's the yellow card. So Cash
Yeah, it
was on
was a
the yellow.
mistake.
Yeah, Cash was on the yellow. Like, do you get me? So I think
Mm.
that was what it was. Cash was on the yellow, and obviously,
Mm.
like, you know what their
Yeah.
PSG wingers are on. So I think Emery, who was taking precautions, but
Mm.
yeah, like Disassi was just in. Yeah, he couldn't live with
Bro,
him.
he so got
Yeah,
snatched for that
man.
goal. He-
Kvaratskhelia,
Mm.
he's an absolute baller. Like, he is he's so good. Like, I watched him a lot at Napoli, and yeah, like you could see his quality there. And yeah, I think it's shining through here as well, like at PSG. And I think his profile blends so well with this team.
Mm.
Like, the way they're able to interchange. And like I said, bro, Like it's like when I was messaging you, I was just like, bro, like the technical ability across this team is ridiculous, bro. Like honestly, like you know when you just see ballers, just ballers ball, like just let the ballers ball, like
Yeah.
literally, and
Yeah,
you see them and
Vitinha,
then
Neves, Ruiz, even the
bro,
midfield is just it's
bro,
filthy, man. It's
technical fam,
filthy.
and then you just got 1v1
It
demons
was
as
on the
well,
wing.
bro.
And bro,
And
imagine
then you
Barcola.
got
They're
your
actually greedy. You got
and
Barcola on the
then
bench as
Barcola,
well.
yeah,
Oh
bro.
my god. Yeah, the
Like
team is
you get me,
nasty.
because there's been at times this season where Doué's been on the bench and it's been Barcola starting, and then yeah, and then you've got the fullbacks with Hakimi and Mendes as well.
Where do you
Like
stand on
you
that?
get
Do you
me?
think Mendes is the best left back in the world right now?
Left backs, left backs. I'm trying to think of the other top left backs in the world currently.
Yeah, this is tough. I'm thinking too, actually.
Um,
Ooh. Alfonso.
yeah, but he's injured.
Mm, yeah, Prem
Mm,
wise, is there any who's the best left back in Prem right now? It's tough. Like there's no one that's jumping at me. It's a tough position.
yeah, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think I'll have to come back to you on that one.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, I have to come back to you on that one. I have to give it a proper think. But yeah, he's defo doing his job. You know what it is? I hate just giving blanket statements of yeah, he's the best left back in the world, and then like I turn off the stream and then I think, ah, bruv,
Well, I
I
guess
got this
Prem
thing.
wise it
Yeah,
might be
yeah. Mm.
thing. My brain's gone blank, but from City, Vardio.
What Bardio?
But yeah,
Mm,
I know I don't want to give it
mm,
to him either.
mm,
But yeah,
mm. But yeah, no, but either way, yeah, no, Mendes, Hakimi, like yeah, again the technical ability there. It's just yeah, man. Like it's just a very, very good team.
no.
From a Villa perspective, the second leg, I think obviously we've seen how good this PSG team is. It's gonna be incredibly difficult to prevent them from scoring as well. But I think they've got to still try to keep it a little bit tight,
Mm,
like keep it quite tight. Actually, I think if I was Emery, how I'd approach is that I want to keep it quite tight, like, but just be a little bit more aggressive. I think you've got to be a little bit more aggressive in the press, like that turnover that led to the goal that McGinn forced. I think more opportunities like that you want to try and force, like pick your
mm.
moments. I
Yeah,
think
it
when you're
definitely
looking
did look like if you could time that breakaway, you can definitely break away on the PSG side. But it's just difficult to get it because they're so
yeah,
relentless. But
yeah,
with what it feels like once you get that breakaway, then there's a lot of space. Is what it felt like
yeah.
watching it.
Yeah. So I think yeah, you've just got to try and time it, and then yeah, obviously things like set pieces as well. Like, do you get me? If you can get a corner, free kick, and then someone's able to get their head onto the ball and there's a goal, then all of a sudden that things aren't looking too crazy. But I think they shouldn't just go into the tie first thing and lose their heads and try to go all out, because then the tie will be over before it started. Like I think you've still got to try and manage it and pick your, like, for example, if you get to half time and it's still 0-0, then it's like, all right, cool. Maybe within the first 15 minutes of the first half, no, five, 5-10 minutes of the first half, sorry, still want to keep it tight. Then from there, it's like you need to now start taking significant risks where it's just
Mm,
like, oh, we need a goal. Like, do you
mm.
get me? And it's
Yeah,
like
you make it one
start
0 then you make it a little bit nervous for them.
yeah,
More
like
so
do you
than
get
it.
me? If you're able to get a goal in the first half, like pick your moment, and it's 1-0, then even better. Then you still keep things solid, keep things tight, whatever the case may be. And then when you need to throw the kitchen sink at them, you throw the kitchen sink at them. And you hope that, like, with the fans, the crowd, the roar, like, you can get over the line. So anything can happen. But yeah, I think it's going to be extremely difficult. Like PSG are definitely the favourites to go through. But
No.
yeah, anything can happen.
100%. And bro, I know you said that this is your other favorite team to watch. So we're gonna have to touch on them very quickly. So about Barcelona, I think the first thing I want to start off here is just how much credit we have to actually give to this Hansi Flick guy. Like, because I feel like it feels like it was only a year ago where we were comparing Real Madrid, like what their future looked like and what Barcelona's looked like with all the levers and understand their financial problems. And then literally with a lot of the same players, he's come in and just completely changed their destiny. Like, I don't even know how much what the words we have to put into what he's been able to convert this team into. Touch on this Yamal guy as well. Oh my goodness, the passes that he put in for two of the goals, even not even he's got the passes he was putting in. I said this guy's technical ability is off the charts, man. And then also I want to get your quick thoughts on what you thought about Rafinha stealing Kubasi's what would have been his first goal at 18. What you whatever you thought the game is the game, or you thought, hey man, you can't be doing the young kid like that. But yeah, all that kind of stuff. Let me get your thoughts.
Yeah, nah. So this Barca team, I've watched the majority of their games all season, bro. They're a joy to watch, like literally. And Lamine Yamal, like I remember having this conversation. I think we briefly had a conversation about it, and I remember having a conversation with a few other people. And again, I don't like always doing like the players comparisons thing, but I remember someone was making a point about Saka, who of course I rate highly, and they were just like, "Oh nah, people are disrespecting my boy Saka. Like, do you get me? Like, I rate Yamal, yeah, but nah, man, like you can't be." And I said, bro, honestly, if you're watching this Yamal guy, you understand it's not a disrespect, bro. Like, honestly, like, bro, it's not a disrespect. Like, bro, you think it's a disrespect because you're seeing the age and you're thinking, bro, this guy is a joke. Like, bro, he's a joke. He's an absolute joke. Like, and his goals don't necessarily reflect like how brilliant he's been, but bro, his assists is much more reflective of how brilliant he's been. But yeah, I think his goal tally is probably something that he would want to increase. But bro, he's an absolute joke. Technically, like honestly, as a playmaker, it's stupid. That is stupid not just to have that technical ability at 17, but it's stupid to have that level of decision making at 17. And that Barca front three, again, you've got to I've got to give again credit to Hansi Flick for how he's been able to make things work. But again, I've always said it's such like a peculiar front three because you look at the age profiles, and it's literally three players at three different stages of their careers. You've got a 17-year-old, a 27-year-old, and a 36-year-old, bro. There's literally like 10 years in between each of them. Like literally. So it's like you've got a 17-year-old Yamal playing with a 36-year-old Lewandowski. Like, do you get me? It's crazy. But yeah, man, like they're brilliant to watch. Pedri as well, bro. Again, like, bro, I've been watching this guy. This guy currently, me personally, I believe this guy's been the best midfielder in the world. Bro, he's a joke.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like,
I
bro,
haven't
he's
watched
a
too
joke.
much, but I've heard that.
Bro, he's a joke.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
he's ridiculous. He's
Mm.
ridiculous. He's ridiculous. Like, bro, yeah, it's crazy. This Barca team's so fun to watch, honestly. They're so fun to watch. And yeah, man, Dortmund, I hate it had to be you. But yeah, like it was always gonna end this way, honestly speaking. Um, I hate it had to be you, man. Nothing against you guys, but it was always gonna end this way, man. There was only you don't have the facilities for this. Like, do you get me? Like, what this Barca team, like, I think is gonna take where it could potentially be a problem. So a team like Inter, I'm curious to see that matchup
Yeah,
because
we'll talk
I
about
feel like
them. Yeah.
with how they set up, that could be a bit dangerous. But yeah, Dortmund, yeah, it was always going to be like one, respectfully, man.
Yeah. So
So
knife versus a bazooka. Yeah.
yeah, man, it was always going to be like work. As regards to Rafinha, you know what? I felt like he didn't need to do it, but I think he's looking at it and thinking, you know what, bro, I'm on a Ballon d'Or charge, so every goal helps. So I think
But
he was just looking at it and thinking, you know what, man, you're you're a centre back. You don't need it. Like, I need it. And a lot of the time they say that's an attacker's natural instinct, isn't it? Like, do you get me? To follow it through and
Nah, it is,
whatever.
but it was
So,
so shameless. Because I think I watched it
it
again. I
was
was like, was there any chance it wasn't going? I
nah,
said,
I'm
nah,
sorry,
this
then.
was so
100%
shameless.
going in. 100% going in. You said you don't need it. You said
fair,
you don't need it, bro.
fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, and also quick word on Flick.
Oh, Flick's brilliant. Like, I think again, he's someone that knows how to get the best out of attacking talent. I think when you look at what he did at Bayern, like again, you saw how he was able to like get the best out of that system, those players. And yeah, I think at Barca, he's doing the same thing. So yeah, like very, very, very good manager, and he's got this Barca team cooking. Obviously, they've got the Copa del Rey final with Real Madrid later this month. They're top of La Liga, and they're right in it with the Champions League. So there's a very, very realistic possibility of a treble there for him. Like, so yeah, man, brilliant, brilliant manager. He's doing his thing. So
No,
full credit to him.
100, and then boy, I think this one we have to talk on this one a little bit because hey man, I said this game I already knew it was gonna be tough for Bayern because I said this Inter team we faced them this season. I know what they can do, bro. They can set up the nastiest block and say break us down if you can. And to
Mhm.
be fair, I think Bayern had the opportunity with that fell to Kane where he hit the outside of the post, and I said, brother Kane, you can't miss these type of chances against these type of oppositions. And Inter they made him regret that big because the goal that what's it called Martinez scored, I said, yeah, ridiculous,
Brilliant.
ridiculous. And obviously, man, they have their OG that comes through Muller. He said, nah, man, we're not losing. He tries to do what he can, gets him a goal back, and then Inter sucker punched them at the end. And I said, boy, Bayern and Kane, you guys need to be very careful here. Because I'm looking at Bundesliga, I say you're 6 points clear right now. I'm looking at this, I say, oh, this is a tough tie now that there's no guarantee. So, like, yeah, I think they just need to be very careful that they definitely get over the line, at least Bundesliga wise. But in this tie too, I think it's gonna be very difficult now for them to also come back in this one. But yeah, I don't know what your thoughts if you caught any of this game, what your thoughts on this kind of matchup was.
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch the full game, but yeah, I saw the highlights. And yeah, man, like I think this Inter team incredibly well coached. Like I rate Inzaghi highly. Like I think he's a really, really top manager. And yeah, he's got this Inter team incredibly well drilled. I think when you're looking at some of the players there, Bastoni, brilliant, like brilliant, brilliant centre back. Barella as well. And then Martinez, he's is a really interesting thing with Martinez because I think he's one of those players where, like, we've seen his qualities. He's been able to get goals, but then I think like there's been this kind of narrative regarding him, like, oh, you know what, like he's kind of just still gonna let you down. But I think
Mm,
he's undoing it. Like he's
mm.
been undoing it, and yeah, like that was a top
Yeah, the
goal by
touch
him,
back by
and
Thuram as well was
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah,
Like,
like team-wise, it was a top goal, and it was a
yeah.
great finish by Martinez himself. Kane, we spoke about legacy games, bro. Chances like that, you've got to be burying. You've got to be burying, man. Like again, like the same way where I was talking about people like being able to enhance their CV and being able to put things on. Also, it's the same way where chances like that, people will pull it up and use it against you and say, so when it was the quarterfinals against Inter and this fell to you, like what happened? And it happens to even the best of players, players that have shown up, players that
Mm,
have had great performances. I remember people still critique Henri for some of like the misses that he had in that Barca final in '06. Do you get me? And he's someone that, despite the narrative regarding his cup final records in a lot of big games, he did show up. So yeah, like Kane, he's got to be burying that. But yeah, this tie is very interesting. Like because it's going to be hard for Bayern, sorry, to now go to the San Siro like with a
a deficit,
yeah,
a
deficit
goal
and
deficit. Yeah.
a necessity to win. So
Mm.
that's gonna be hard. But yeah, like it's Boston and Bayern are definitely still well in it. Like they've still got
Yeah,
enough
they are. Yeah.
quality. They've still got enough quality. But yeah, it's gonna that second leg's gonna be interesting. But Inter, dangerous team, man. And like I said, Inzaghi, top coach. Like he's got them extremely well drilled. Like yeah.
Like, okay, well, I think that rounds up the Champions League fixtures. And bro, before we get into obviously the next fixture, we're gonna go to
Mhm.
the Europa League now. Touch on, let you talk about United, but just for the people that weren't aware, just to kind of bring everyone up to speed of what was so funny before the game. Obviously, like just starting off, I have the quotes here just so everyone can be very clear on what he said. Because even me, I had to go back and say, what did Onana say that led to Matic to destroy him the way he did? But yeah, let me actually get the actual quotes I was saying up earlier. Let me see. Let me see. Let me Yeah, what's he called? Yeah, so he said it's a so he was talking about the game before after the Man City derby on the weekend. He said it's a very good team. We know some of them, but I don't think we have to focus on them. It's more about us, what we're going to do. I think we are a better team than them. We just have to go there and show them who we are. So that was the kind of initial quotes, and I was thinking, okay. Then I see Matic clap back on him and say, "What's it called? What did Matic say? When you are one of the worst goalkeepers in Man United's history, you need to take care of what you're talking about. If De Gea or Peter Schmeichel or Van der Sar say that, I will question myself. But when you are statistically one of the worst goalkeepers in United's modern history, you need to show up first before you say that." And I think I just wanted to kind of start with that first, because I even saw before the game as well. He came out. I think he walked by the like where the Leon fans were, had his headphones in, touching the post, looking all cool. And I said, brother, this game, with what you said before the match, this is not the match that you must drop any type of stinker, because you know what the narrative is going to be. All that being said, the game now starts, bro, and I'll let you take it on from here.
Yeah, nah. I remember seeing the whole thing regarding Anana and Matic, and I saw the Matic clap back first. So I hadn't seen what Anana had said. I just saw the clap back and I said, whoa. Like, whoa. Damn. I said, yikes, what's going on here? Like, so yeah. And then I was looking for what it is that Anana had initially said. And yeah, like I would, you know, when you're trying to validate sources and it's like, oh, what were the exact words used? Because I think the reporter, I think he said something like, oh, Anana said Manchester United are way better than Leon, like on paper. And obviously, so I think how he phrased the question to Matic, I think I don't know if that's how Anana said it. Like, do you get me? But I think Anana needed to be careful with his words. And when Matic did clap back, obviously he does the post with the, oh, like, you know, I respect my opponents, but then he has the little jab at the end with like, oh, at least some of us have won trophies with this amazing club. Not all of us can say the same. And I was just like, oof, yeah, like again, certain players, I think they live for this type of thing. Like someone that comes to mind is like an Emmy Martinez, where it's just like that's exactly his type of thing. Like, do you get me? But I think a lot of fans, they would, if you support a team that he plays for, if you're an Argentina fan, if you're a Villa fan, I think a lot of fans are willing to just like roll with it because they can see that a lot of the time how his personality is, that kind of brings the best out of him. Like he doesn't sink under that pressure. That's not really how he reacts. Like he's that type of personality where saying stuff like that, it helps motivate him. Like he wants to get into people's heads, etc. So yeah. Whereas obviously Anana's not proven to be that type of character. Like Anana's so far proven to crumble under pressure. So when I saw the thing with like the whole FA Cup and him saying, oh, you know, some of us have won trophies with this great club. Not all of us can say the same. I was like, I don't know if that's the approach you should be taking, bro, because you are now putting all of the spotlight onto yourself. And can you handle that? Because, yeah, like, I don't. sometimes you've got to be smart and just say, all right, you know what, I'm just gonna let this wither out and just focus on the game. Because when you're making statements like that, then you know all of the spotlight is going to be on you. And even the FA Cup that you were referring to, thank God we won, but you let in a howler in that match
Yeah,
as
I,
well
I
with
actually
Doku.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
You
with
mentioned it.
Doku. So it's
Yeah, I
like,
forgot. Yeah,
bro,
you did. You
like
did.
you get me. And Matic never won anything with us, but again, bro, this is a player that's won a lot. He won trophies with Chelsea, like
Yeah.
leagues with
What,
Chelsea.
two-time
Like,
Premier
you
League
get me?
winner? Yeah.
Yeah, like you get me. So he's not no scrub, bro. Like Matic was a very good player. So I was like, you know what? If you're taking this approach, bro, you're going to have to be able to back it up. And I feel like it just felt so inevitable that something like this was gonna happen.
It did.
And again, when you see the free kick come in and you just see him not be able to follow the trajectory of the ball, and then boom, absolute howler, 1-0 down. I said, oh my days, bro. I was absolutely fuming because I was just like, bro, you can't be talking like this. Like, do you get me? If you know that you're capable of doing such, like, do you get me? Like, and yeah, man, you can't talk like that and then put in a performance like the performance he put in. And yeah, obviously there was that goal. Second goal, he should have done better as well. Like parries it straight into Shirky, and then Shirky gets the goal as well to make it 2-2. And yeah, man, there's too many times where this guy has cost us in Europe. We already know what happened with the Champions League last season, and we know that this Europa League, we know how important this Europa League is to Manchester United, and we can't afford this. Like, we can't afford this. So, yeah, man, like Anana, very, very poor performance. And yeah, I think it kind of goes without saying that most Manchester United fans believe that, yeah, we need a new goalkeeper.
Damn.
So, yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't blame you, man. I think I remember when we were speaking about before. I think what's the worst, the most concerning about players like Onana is like even when they're okay, you can never trust them because you can go on.
Yeah.
I think even at the start of the season, he was actually in good form, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
And
he
it's like,
was.
but then it's like once the form turns, I think they eventually get caught out. That's what happens. That's why we say
Mm,
players are world class and players aren't world class. What
mm-hmm,
separates them is the consistency of the performances. You understand?
mm-hmm,
It's he can play at this level for this percentage of the season. But I think when you're just an average to good player, then I think eventually your form balances out where you be good for a period of time and then eventually you get found out. I think that's what's happened with him. So yeah, I think you guys definitely are gonna have to look in that position. But as
mm-hmm.
a whole, bro, I don't know what you think about United or think because me, I was watching the game and I was like, United are so boring to watch, man. Like, I don't know whether from your perspective how you kind of because I think I was even thinking about his comments, like even at halftime with the goal that Leon conceded as well, which is also just very sloppy, like ball back and then it gets deflected in. I said, boy, maybe Onana wasn't too far off, but this just looks like two teams that aren't serious. But I was watching the match just thinking, this is just not a very entertaining game of football. Like both teams just look like, yeah, I think they did well in the end to come back and make it 2-2 when it looked like United were gonna nick it with the Xerxes goal. But I just said overall, man, like this just wasn't a great or inspiring performance. But I don't know what's your overall take on United right now. I guess the whole team as a whole, even just wider than Onana. What was your take on the game in general?
Yeah, bro. I think, again, it's a lot of the same problems that we've been speaking about. I think, firstly, I therefore agree with you. I think after those Champions League matches, to have to go and watch that, yeah, man, it was sad. Like, yeah, it was sad. Like, again, like, just poor quality. I think overall, I'll start with the few positives. I think Euro, brilliant. Nah, I think his goal was really good because at first, I think when you first see it, you don't actually realize how good of a header it is. But then when you see the replay, you see how quickly he's adjusted to flick it into the corner. So that was very good. But even just generally speaking, honestly, I've got to give this guy so much credit because he came to Manchester United. Obviously, it was a significant fee for his age, and there was a lot of talk. Obviously, there was the interest from Real Madrid, and all the memes were starting with like "Lend me a euro" and all of that stuff. and do you get me? And then we saw what happened in the Southampton game, where he was getting cooked. And since then, my boy's locked in. Like literally, like he's just locked in. And I remember seeing an interview, I think it was with Rio Ferdinand, where he spoke about he watched highlights from that game and he was watching footage and yeah, like he was doing his analysis and studying. And I think they said, yeah, he's not been dribbled past for the last 12 games. Like, do you get me? And yeah, man, you've seen someone who's clearly been working hard, analyzing, and he's just stepped up his performances. And yeah, man, I think he's been one of the shining lights in this United team because I think you're looking at, potentially a very top young centre back in the making. So yeah, man, like Euro again, another really good performance. Our attack, oh my days, bro. Oh my days, fam. Bro, again, like I feel like I'm a broken record, but Garnacho, like the decision making, knowing what to do, when to do it, like he just doesn't have it, man. Hoyland, Amarim, like you're annoying me now with this, bro. Hoyland shouldn't be starting over Xerxes. I don't know why he carries on doing it. He shouldn't. He shouldn't. The same way I criticize Onana because it's just clear now to see that he's just lacking certain goalkeeping fundamentals, like being able to follow the trajectory of a ball. Hoyland lacks fundamentals. Like he lacks striker fundamentals. He lacks anticipation, hold up play, being able to take a touch, release it. Like the fundamentals that you need as a striker, he doesn't have them. I don't want to see him starting in place of Xerxes. Like he shouldn't be. Like so that's annoying. But yeah, like our attack is extremely limited, bro. Like I think we've known this. Like I was seeing today that we're getting linked with Cunha, and I'm thinking, bro, please, man, I'm begging you. I am begging you. Give me something. Cunha, come back. Ahmad, get fit, please, man. Let me enjoy watching my team a little bit again. And yeah, with the lap, I know a lot of United fans as well. They've spoken about him, and a lot of people are saying, you know what, we want like a Osimhen, a Gyökeres, someone of a like older age profile who's more experienced. And I understand what it is that they're saying, but I think we've also got to understand what our financial situation is and what our wage situation is. And I think the wages that Osimhen would want, we can't give him. Like, do you get me? We can't give him. And I was hearing the lap has got a relegation clause.
Yeah, but that's gonna be competitive though. Oh my day, 30 mil. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, bro, United are defo in no position to be sniffing at that. If they're able to get the lap for 30 mil, bro, there's no doubt about it. That is a good signing. Like, do you get me? Like, he's a good player. Like, he's a good player. I fully hear the wanting to have, like, the Osimhen who's, like, do you get me, proven he got the Scudetto for Napoli. And, yeah, you're thinking, you know what, you can come straight in and he's someone where it's like he's not young and you don't have to kind of like play the waiting game to that extent. Like I understand the thinking, but bro, again, you've got to look at the situation. And yeah, the lap 30 mil, can't sniff at it at all. Therefore can't. But I understand what other people are saying. But yeah, Cunha, he's someone that, yeah, like ball carrying, technical ability, skillful, physicality, imagination, yeah. And he's 25 now. He's gonna turn 26 at the end of May.
In that position behind the striker, he'd be perfect for that. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my days.
He'd be perfect in that position. Compared to what Garnacho's giving you guys right now, brother.
Cunha, that would be thing. But yeah, our final third play, bro. It's a big problem. Pardon me. Give me 1 sec.
No problem. I guess while you do that, I feel like when you come back, I think it'll be interesting to kind of get your take on Hoyland. Because like you say, if you guys go get the lap now, you made it very clear that you think Xerxes is ahead of Hoyland now. Hoyland is still a £70 million asset. Like, what do you guys do with him now as well? Is it next year? Is he the third choice? Do you guys send him on loan? Do you try sell him? Like, how are you done with him? Or do you are you like, I don't see the quality. He's not going to be the guy for United, or are you still like he's young? Let's give him some time. Where are you at with Hoyland as well,
bro? It's the fundamentals, man. You got to give me something to work with. If I can see the fundamentals, then I can see potential, and it's easier to give you time. When the fundamentals are lacking, then bro, it's hard for me to back it. Like, do you get me? You're not showing me basic striker fundamentals. Like, that's the problem. Like, do you get it? So I think, and even the one good thing that I thought he actually was quite good at was his actual finishing. Like, when he did get a chance, I thought his finishing and ball striking was actually like decent. Like, I thought that was actually the problem. I thought it was everything else: his anticipation, his hold up play, like his game intelligence. I thought all of those things were the problems. But when the chance actually fell to him, I felt like, oh, his ball striking was actually quite good and his finishing was quite good. But even that now, bro, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, did you see the chance he snatched that in the game, bro?
I don't think so.
I don't know if you remember, it fell onto
Yeah.
his left foot, bro. Strong foot, bro. And literally
Mm.
horrible. Like, so I feel like, yeah, man, honestly speaking, again, I don't ever like writing off young players, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work for him at United, man. I won't lie. Yeah.
No, I think that's fair, man. And like you said, like I think Amarin too. This is something I've been banging the drum on for the longest now. I think Garnacho. I think where you can write. I think you can write off players in positions. Sometimes you can just say your attributes do not fit this position, and I think Garnacho behind that striker is just an attribute in a position that just does not fit him. I feel like it's really the reality of you either make it as one of these wing back positions or you're not going to be good enough to make it at this club. I feel like that's kind of where he's like the reality of Garnacho is. And the fact that he's still persevering with this him behind the striker position, I feel like is also a mistake by Amarin as well. I feel like, yeah, also the Casemiro Ugarte midfield pivot, the Dalot and Dogu wing back pivot. I said, you guys, like I think we touched on that. You guys actually play a back five. Like that's
Yeah.
actually what you do. You play a back five. Like it's not a 3-4-3, it's a back five. Then maybe
Mm-hmm.
Dogu makes some runs sometimes, Dalot makes some runs sometimes, but you guys are so negative, so defensive. That's why I said watching the game, I was just like, because I had both games on. We'll touch on Spurs after, and I was watching
Mm-hmm.
both matches, and I just muted the United game because this game is just not entertaining to watch at all. And
Yeah,
again,
but
it's
bro,
because of just again how you guys approach the match too. It's just so negative. It's so defensive. It's like so it just not very not just not interesting.
bro,
Like
I'm a United fan. I'm just forced to watch it in it, bro. But yeah, I completely agree with you. Not entertaining, negative, defensive, not a good watch at all. I'm 100%. I don't disagree with anything he said, and I think even from a um, wing back profile, I'm looking at like Dorgu, and again, he's young. Dorgu's young. He's gonna develop, etc. New league, but I'm looking at the type of profile he is, and he's like, when I look at what his qualities are, is that he's a physical tank. Like, do you get me? He can go up and down. Like, do you get me? Strong. He's quick.
it's quite good in the air as well. I've clocked a few
Quite good
times.
in the air as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think the things that you want him to get better at is his final ball, his delivery, and yeah, like maybe being a bit more confident when it comes to like, do you get me? Just being aggressive, when going forward. But he's not the type of wing back to stand up the opposition's fullback and twist him in and out.
Yeah.
Like,
He's not.
that's not what he's like. The overlapping wing back that, yeah, make the pitch bigger. He's physically strong. He can get up and down the pitch, and then you're hoping his final ball delivery gets better and better, and then that's how he's going to be an asset. But he's not the type of player. He can't do what Ahmad does, where Ahmad's in that wing back position, and Ahmad's going to stand up a fullback and say, "All right, cool, steps, 1-2, beat a player, take you in, take you out, left foot, right foot." Like, do you get me? And I think that's a profile that we need. We need someone like that. And when I was looking like a Quenda, who's now going to go to Chelsea in 2026, that's the type of profile he
Bro,
is.
you know, I was watching highlights of him. Yeah, he does the Saka hold up, the Saka. You know the hold gun. Like
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
thing is
yeah,
so
yeah.
dangerous.
That's the type
Yeah,
of profile he is. Like,
yeah.
he's gonna take on the opposition fullback. He's gonna stand them up. He's gonna try go in, out, etc. That's the type of, like, he's a dribbler. He likes one-on-ones, and I feel like we need that type of profile in the wing back position. because I feel like that will help us naturally become more of an attacking team. And I
Yeah.
think currently what we're seeing now is that, yeah, like these fullbacks, again, like they're learning, they're developing, but it's just too passive, it's too defensive, it's not exciting enough. And I think, yeah, we need that type of wing back profile. We've got a really good player in the academy called Mantato, and he looks like someone who could do that job. Like, I've watched a lot of games from him in the academy, and yeah, man, he loves to stand up his fullback, take them on, like in, out, skillful. But again, I look at those things and I look at them as pluses. Like, I don't want to be putting all my chips on Mantato coming through next year and him being the savior at wing back, because I don't think that's fair on him, even though I think he's a very, very good player. And I do think that he can break into the team. But yeah, I think we need that type of profile. Like, that's the type of profile we need. Because if we've now got, let's say, like someone like a Cunha in one of those 10 positions, someone like an Ahmad in a 10 position, we've got a striker, and then we've got another wing back who is more like a winger who likes to take on their fullback, then I think all of a sudden now we're looking much more attacking bit by bit. And then we start trying to fill things out. But yeah, currently, bro, I completely agree with you. Like, I think it's defensive, it's boring, it's back five, it's not attacking. And I feel like Amrin has to hold some of that responsibility as well, because I feel like he's not doing enough. Like, yeah, like again, with some of the decisions he's making as regards to who's starting, etc. Yeah. And again, you can see even when you talk about, I know they seem like buzzwords, but footballing IQ and stuff like that. But literally, bro, you see when Xerxes comes on, Cubby comes on, even Mount comes on, bro, you see automatically the level raise where it's just like man who just think differently. Like, you get me?
No,
Just man just who think differently.
Bro,
like,
you know, I was gonna say earlier, yeah, you know, even when you're very, very, very quick detour, when you're even talking earlier about the Rice free kick, again, I think the mentality, even Saka, to even say, hey, bro, if you feel it, go for it. Again, that's a mentality thing where you either have that mentality or not. Where he said, brother, I think you can do this, so you do it. You don't want the other guy who's more negative and says, nah, bro, cross this. We need to understand. Like, again, it's all mentalities, all the decision making in those split seconds or what separates these players. Like, because yeah, this boy is played at such a fast level that I
saw the chance where Garnacho's going through, bro, and if you're gonna play that ball to Bruno, bro,
it was so bad.
Like,
so bad.
and
You have
then
someone
Xerxes
overlapping
making
you.
the overlap.
Oh
and
yeah,
you
it was
just,
so
oh
bad.
my days, bro.
Yeah.
And you're looking at it and you're just thinking, what is going on?
Yeah.
And this is the thing. This is the thing that I'll say about this United team, bro. They're trying.
Yeah.
This isn't a lack of effort.
Yeah.
Like, they're not running.
Yeah.
These
They
are just
haven't.
bad, bro.
Yeah.
Garnacho doesn't not run, bro. Like, he runs. Like, it's not a lack of effort, bro. These men they're just not good. Like, you get it, bro. Like, we're just not a good team. Like, that's what it is. So yeah, man. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, damn, we've got a lot of work to do. Hopefully in the summer we can make the signings that we need to make. Again, Euro, huge positive. You know, Cobby, I'm happy that he's back. You already know Ahmad, that's my boy. Like, and yeah, obviously it's hurt us that he's been injured for how long he's been injured, because yeah, like, he was our best player before he got injured. So yeah, he's also, I think, in that final third, him along with Bruno are the players who like can be decisive. Like, do you get me? And the great thing about Ahmad, which is very different to Garnacho, is that Ahmad 8 times out of 10, he's gonna make the right decision. Like, do you get me? Like, yeah, like, he's just got very, very good like football IQ, like footballing IQ. He's just a very intelligent player. So even when it comes to decision making, he's gonna make the right decision. So yeah, man. But transfers and all of that stuff, that's all for the summer right now, bro. Because
how you feeling?
A lot of what's gonna determine our budget and stuff is if we're able to win this competition. So yeah, man. 2-2. But yeah, sorry, bro. What are you saying? How am I
No, I was gonna
feeling?
say I guess bringing it back home now, because like you say, yeah, it's still 2-2, all things considered. I think Leon too, I was watching them thinking, yeah, they did well to bring it back, but they're not unbeatable too if you guys I guess turn up at home. But yeah, how are you feeling in terms of confidence of, I guess, getting past them in this next round, just based on what you saw in this game?
You know what? Like you said, I don't think Leon were overly impressive at all. I think they defo can be got at. And I think a United team with more quality in the final third, then yeah, like we're probably able to score a few more. So yeah, but it is 2-2. 2-2 is not the worst result in the world. Like again, like it makes it a one leg tie, and it's like cool. The one leg tie is at home, so just
Mhm.
win your match. Do you get it? So yeah, not the worst result in the world. Um, I think it's just we just need players to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. So I think Bruno's going to be key. And yeah, like we're just gonna have to try and make sure we take our chances because Europe can be brutal. Like even if you're playing well or you're doing whatever, like I think again, against City, it was a low quality game, but I feel like we probably edged it. Like,
Mm.
and I think we probably had the better chances. But if you don't score, then yeah, like you're not
It
gonna
doesn't matter.
win. Do you
Yeah.
get me? Yeah. So I think that's the thing. And if Anana is like making mistakes, then yeah, like we could be in for a big problem. But I'm hopeful. I'm going to the game, the second leg.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
yeah. So I'm hopeful that we can get the job done. I'll be there at Old Trafford. So yeah, like it's a big European night for us. Like we need to make sure we go through. So hopefully.
No, I hear that. And then I think just rounding up on the last couple of fixtures in Europe before we head back to the Premier League and we touch on the fixtures this week. We do a quick update on the prediction table from last week. But the other team that was playing in Europe that they're also very, very, I guess the Europa League is also like their kind of last hurrah this season to get something out of it is definitely Spurs. And yes, this was a game I was focused on a bit more watching it. Spurs versus Frankfurt. And yeah, I think going into the game, I was looking at that Spurs midfield and I said, ooh, Bentancur, Madison, Bergvall. I don't know whether this is going to be a solid enough midfield, but honestly, firstly, to give a big shout out to, because I think we touched him, I think the previous stream, we were just talking about like potential strikers for Arsenal. And I said, yeah, Akitike, he's definitely someone that I would definitely be interested in us, I guess, investigating a bit more. Obviously, the people that need to scout. I've only seen some things, but what I've seen, I have liked what I've seen from him, and he scored a very good goal in this game, capitalizing on a Madison mistake, then breaking away, and then yeah, back burying it into the corner past Vicario, who is a very good shot stopper. So yeah, I definitely like the touches I saw from him. Maybe he could have definitely maybe got a second goal in the game too in the like overall, but overall I think it was a good cameo and a good kind of I guess yeah initial thoughts on him, like watching him live for the first time, like in a full game. But fair play to Spurs. I will say that I thought Frankfurt would definitely be the favourites in this one, just based on the season they're having. The season Spurs are having, the Spurs team that I saw against Chelsea, which again, it does really show that football sometimes when players have nothing to play for, the quality levels can just drop so drastically compared to when they now think, oh yeah, this is a competition that and we have something to play for. I think Spurs will definitely were a lot better in this game than they were against Chelsea in the previous one. And I think they were probably unlucky, maybe. They were probably unlucky actually not to win this one in the grand scheme of things. I think they definitely had the better chances. I think they hit the crossbar post a couple of times. Like it was a decent performance. I think Bergvall, he's a player that I want to give a shout out to as well, man. Because I think I've said it a couple of times that he's out of the Spurs like team this season. I think he's definitely one of them players that when you don't have a great season, but there's some players that come out of it and you say, yeah, you have. Like your stock has risen this season in terms of what you've been able to put together, even if like your players next to you haven't been great. Madison was
Mhm.
one that I was initially going to be very critical of, but I think he grew into the game as well, and he ended up having quite a decent game. But again, he's probably a player that just in the grand scheme of what I thought he was coming to Spurs, I thought he was going to be more than what he's shown overall. But I think he had a decent game in this one. So yeah, no, I think it's again, this is another one where it's 1-1. Maybe it's a bit more disappointing for Spurs because this game was at home and now they go away to Frankfurt for the next one. So yeah, they're gonna have to definitely pull together a very good performance to make sure that they get over the line and get through in this competition in this round as well. So yeah, I don't know if you caught any of this game.
Yeah, so I saw the highlights. Like I was watching the United game whilst this was going on. Ekatike, I rate him. Like yeah, like I do like him, and I saw his goal. I think it was a really good goal, great finish. Yeah, like I think it's finally balanced. Obviously for the second leg, I think the advantage is with Frankfurt because the second leg is at their home. So I feel like Spurs ideally they would have been wanting to go to Frankfurt with a win. So yeah, like again, the same way like the Europa League is extremely important for us, it's extremely important for Spurs. So yeah, I feel like it's gonna be the atmosphere is gonna be crazy there, and there's gonna be a lot of pressure on those Spurs players. So it will be interesting to see how they do. But yeah, like I think those are probably like my Bergvall as well. Yeah, like I echo that. Like I think he's done well. I think Kulu before he got injured, I think
Mm.
he's another player as well where like he was shining in a team that wasn't doing well. And so yeah, like he looks like someone who's a promising player, Bergvall. But yeah, overall with Spurs, like yeah, man, this competition's extremely important for them. So they're gonna need a performance next week, the same with us.
Yup. And then, yeah, just very quickly, Chelsea won 3-0 in their game. But I'm playing. Yeah, I didn't catch any of that game. I don't know, but yeah, I'm sure you didn't either. But yeah, Legia was over. They're fifth in the Polish league. So yeah, fair play to Chelsea. Looks like they're through. But yeah, so I think that kind of rounds up the European fixtures I wanted to
Very
touch on.
quickly, I was looking at
Mm,
the draw for that, and on the
okay.
other side of the draw is Real Betis. And
Uh,
if Betis and Chelsea meet in the final, that's not a given at all, bruv.
oh,
Like,
really?
that's not a given at all. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out. But yeah,
Mm.
that's the only thing I was quickly gonna say.
Nah, fair play, man. Chelsea, there's no excuses. They must. They must. But yeah, so all in all, I think yeah, there was definitely a lot to talk about in Europe. That's why we spent so long there. I think Premier League, yeah, like we said, man, it's not been the most entertaining, but I think there's a couple of things for us to get into. But before we bring it back home to England and we talk about our league, just to quickly update the people who may not be aware that obviously me and you are doing a competition this year where we have a prediction table. Each game week we have a set of fixtures that we predict, and then 3 points for the exact score line, 1 point for the right result. And then we just kind of keep that going throughout the season. And we also have an FPL competition that we do as well. And at the end of all of that, the person who wins in both of those competitions will then get the kit or shirt of their choice that we're going to get into. And obviously, if it's a tie, then we'll have to go to the deal breaker, which is our prediction table at the start of the season. But that being said, let me just very quickly fly through the last week's prediction kind of results and table, and then we'll get into our prediction for the upcoming Premier League fixtures and touch on any kind of initial thoughts going into the next game week. So just very quickly, I guess, before I bring up the table, just kind of fly through the results and then stop me if there's any fixtures that you want to add a little bit onto. But obviously, yeah, we spoke about that. I forgot what you called it, the Palace versus Brighton derby. What was it called
Oh,
again?
M23,
The
M23.
M23, the M23 derby. Obviously, I went for a 1-1. You went for 2-1 Palace. Obviously, that ended 2-1 Palace. So you got the 3 points there. Everton, Arsenal, we both went for 2-1. I did also say that I won't be shocked if it ended 1-1, and it ended 1-1, unfortunately for us. So yeah, there's no more title race talks this season. We parked that one and we
Mm,
parked that one over there. Then West Ham, Bournemouth, we both went 1-1. I think that ended 2-2. So yeah, we both got 1 point there. Villa, Forest, we both went 2-1 Villa, which was the scoreline 2-1. So we both got 3 points there. Brentford, Chelsea, I went 2-2. You went 2-1 Chelsea. So I got 1 point there because it ended 1-1. Oh, no, 1-1.
no,
I think
no,
that
no, no.
no. Okay, that ended 0-0. So I got 1 point there. Then probably the shock of the weekend was Fulham versus Liverpool. We both went 2-1 Liverpool, and Fulham got the 3-2 win. So fair play to Fulham, man. Like they did what they had to do. So again, like I said, that top 5 European spots is not a given right now. Who's gonna get that? But we're gonna get into that a little bit. And then yeah, like you alluded to earlier in the stream, what was definitely a very disappointing, very boring derby was the United versus Man City. I went for 2-1 City, you went for 2-1 United, and did 0-0. So I think there's not really too much to say there. But all of that said, that means that the prediction table, which I've now just realized that's going to be the wrong way around, so let me just quickly do this, looks like this right now. So I'm on 62 points and you are on 66. I think you pulled away with that what's it called, the Palace result, which I think
Mm,
was like the main decider this week. So yeah, you pulled slightly away from me from last week. So it's still tight, a long way to go. So we're gonna continue. So there's a lot of jeopardy still there in this
mhm.
upcoming game week. But that being said, as we've just ended with talking about the United City derby, I think the first place to start in what I think is definitely going to be the most interesting game this weekend definitely is going to be Newcastle versus Manchester United. I think we've said it enough times this year so far that Premier League for you guys is you guys aren't playing for anything. Maybe it's just confidence and just to maybe get some confidence in the legs, take that into Europe with you. But I think for Newcastle, it's a very big game because, like I said, that competition for the top 5 European places is still very, very tight. So they definitely want to be getting the win in this one. And we know United don't make it easy, especially when United aren't the favourites. And I think that's what we're looking at in this game. So it's whether United can just be, the crabs in the barrel where you say, you know what, we'll take a draw because it don't matter to us. Whereas Newcastle need a win. So I don't know if you have any kind of thoughts on this game. And then you can get into your prediction.
Yeah, no, the Premier League season is very weird, isn't it? Like, because, obviously we know that as regards to, like, our priorities, it's currently the Europa League. And we've got that massive fixture on Thursday against Lyon. So, yeah, Newcastle, obviously, they've won their trophy. They're chasing Champions League football. We've spoken about them substantially. We know the quality they've got, Isak, etc. Extremely difficult game away to St. James's Park, one of the toughest places to go to. Yeah, man. It's not looking good, bruv. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's just not looking good. Do you want me to go first with prediction?
Yeah, you go first with this one. Yeah.
Cool. I am going to go. I'm gonna go 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. I think that is a fair shout. I was thinking that too, but I think for me in this one, to kind of get straight into my predictions, I think I'm gonna go 3-1 Newcastle. But again, that's me trying to do a little differential, just because I think Newcastle are going to be confident, they're going to be bopping, and your priority is definitely the Europa League game coming up. So I think it's definitely good. Actually, you know what? Actually, no. I'm actually gonna go 2-0 Newcastle. Is actually what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go 2-0 Newcastle. I think that'll be my prediction because I expect Newcastle to get over the line, and it's gonna be a very tough ask for you guys to go there and get anything from it, especially when you're not playing for anything in the Premier League. So that is that fixture. We will see what happens there. Then we go over to my team, another team that I said is not playing for anything anymore and I think probably what's the most disappointing thing about this season is that genuinely Liverpool, give them all the credit, all the respect. They've done what they need to do. No one expects them to go and win the league, so that's always going to be the starting point. But I definitely think, man, there's been enough times this season where Liverpool, this hasn't been a title race that's just been what can we do? What can we say? It's definitely been a title race of they've given us some little chinks that if we had capitalized on it, we definitely could have made it much, much closer at this stage of the season. So I think that's definitely the most disappointing thing from Arsenal's point of view, just the fact that we've allowed it to become so far, and then we've also dropped silly points. Whenever we drop points, Liverpool go and drop points afterwards. So we've just not capitalized on it at all. So I think that's definitely the most disappointing thing for us. But again, all that being said, Liverpool have overall done what they needed to do, which is why they're going to win the Premier League this year. So Arsenal, we have Brentford at home this weekend. And I think it should be a tight game. Brentford are a team that I rate. I think they're going to make it difficult for us. We spoke about the two-step that they bring, with the Wissa and then Buemo, they're a big problem. For us too, as much as 3-0 up or comfortable, we said, hey man, if there's one team in Europe for that, you can be 3-0 up, but you still have to go and be very, very respectful. You still have to go and make sure that you come correct. It definitely is Real Madrid. So again, that's what our main focus is on. So I think this one is just, this is a confidence. We keep it moving. We should win this game. But again, it's very similar to what I said about the Everton game. If it ended 1-1, I wouldn't be shocked. But all that being said, my prediction for this one is going to be 2-1 Arsenal. So I think it should be very tight. And then what are you telling me for this one, bro? What do you think about this Arsenal-Brentford game? What's your prediction?
Yeah, I'm going to go for the same. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. That is... So we're matching on that one. And then going to the next fixture, which again, this is one where it's tight for that top 5 race. And we're going to go to Man City versus Palace. And it's tight because Palace are not a joke either. And City, that race is still very, very tight. Just very quickly, if I just even just bring up the table just so everyone can see what we're dealing with. Like, what, City on 52 points. Obviously, Palace, they're not really fighting for that, but I think it's just more City need to continue to win and continue to make sure that they're putting boards and points in the table, because it looks like Forest are pulling away a little bit in that third position. And then, yeah, Chelsea, Newcastle, City, Villa, even Fulham, Brighton, like I think all of these teams all have a shout towards the end of the season. So I think City, they've been very inconsistent. Palace are definitely a big enough threat that they just need to make sure that they get over the line in this one. So yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are. I'll let you go first in the prediction for this game, City versus Palace this weekend.
This one's hard. This one is hard. Oof. I am going to go draw. I'm gonna go 1-1.
That's actually that's actually a shout. That is a shout. I think I'm gonna go City to edge it. I'm gonna go 2-1 City. But yeah, this is also a game that they can definitely drop points in. But yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 City for the differential, just because I think they need to win this. So I think they're gonna need to do what they have to do to get over the line. But Palace is not gonna make it easy for them at all. And then the next fixture, I think this is going to be another quite difficult one, because, yeah, like we said, Fulham versus Bournemouth, both teams still within touching distance if they can get a win in this one. I think Bournemouth's form has definitely taken a turn for the worse. Fulham are in very good form right now, but they go away to Bournemouth. So it's just more about where do you kind of see this one going. So obviously I'll go first for the prediction in this one. I think this is going to be tough, but I'm going to go for a draw in this game. I'm going to go for 2-2. 2-2 in this one. But yeah, what do you think?
You said Bournemouth are at home.
Yep.
I am gonna go. I'm gonna go Fulham.
Okay.
I'm gonna 2-1 Fulham.
2-1 Fulham.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that. That would not be very shocking looking at the form table right now. But yeah, I want to see that Bournemouth can turn it around a little bit in this game. But we shall see. And this one, based on what happened earlier in the season, I still haven't forgiven West Ham. And we're gonna go Liverpool versus West Ham. This could be the jobbing of the weekend, because I don't know, Liverpool too. Like they might want to punish someone for the I guess dropping points last week against Fulham. Against Fulham, and West Ham are definitely a team that can be dropped. So yeah, I don't know what. I'll let you go first in this one. What do you think about this Liverpool versus West Ham game? Liverpool being at home. How do you see this one going?
I'm gonna go 3-0.
You're gonna go 3-0. Cool. I'm gonna go 2-0 in this one. 2-0. But yeah, I won't be shocked if it's a lot more punishing. And then the final game that we're gonna predict this weekend, bro. This one is Wolves versus Spurs. So again, I think these are teams that, yeah, Wolves have nothing to worry about. Spurs have nothing to worry about. So it's just really it's for the fans. And maybe Spurs, I guess, confidence-wise, going into that Frankfurt game, whether they want to build or continue any momentum. But
is Cunha back?
Say again? I'm actually not sure, I'm actually not sure. Let's just say anything. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I don't know if you can search that up in the background very quickly.
Yeah, let me have a look.
But to kind of start off in this one, I wrote my prediction. I think couldn't it be? But I think I'm still edging Wolves to win this one. I think I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Wolves win, just because again, I think Spurs in the league, based on what I've seen recently, I think their heart's not in it. I think they're definitely all focused on that Europa League tie. So, and I think Wolves, they seem to have definitely turned the corner as well. So I think it's going to be a tough game for Spurs to go. And I think at most it'll be a draw. I mean, I don't really see Spurs winning this one, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 Wolves win in this one. But yeah, then if you've managed to check that, is he back?
Yeah, I think he's back. But I think Pereira, Wolves manager, said that he's gonna be on the bench.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
No, no need to see mine just come out that
the
early.
conversation with him. Yeah, he said he's going to start him on the bench. Um,
Okay.
so he's back. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go Wolves 2-1. Same result as you.
Yeah. I think that is what I'm doing. Okay, so that rounds up the prediction. Just to very quickly reiterate, Newcastle United, I'm going 2-0. You're going 2-1. Arsenal Brentford, I'm going 2-1. You're going 2-1. City Palace, I'm going 2-1. You're going 1-1. Bournemouth Fulham, I'm going 2-2. You're going 2-1 Fulham. Liverpool West Ham, I'm going 2-0. You're going 3-0. And then Wolves Spurs, I'm going 2-1 to Wolves. And you're also going 2-1 to Wolves. So that rounds up the prediction table. Just again, very quickly, do this and then do that. That is what it's currently looking like. So we're gonna see how it looks after this weekend. But yes, that being said, I think the final segment of the show, this is where we do our FPL roundup, FPL catch up. We talk about what went well, what didn't go well in the previous game week. I think there definitely should be some interesting conversation in this one because I haven't actually really thought about what I'm doing too much for the next game weeks. I actually need to really think I have some rough strategies in mind because obviously I do have my assistant manager active. Which let me even just get into my team now. We can talk about it. And we can kind of.
Mhm.
So this week for me, FPO wise, when the page wants to load, okay, permission denied. I don't know what happened there. Let me try that again. I don't know what happened there. Uh Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, it bugged, but we're back. We're back. So yes, FPL wise for this one this week. Yeah, it was actually quite a good week for me. I got 73 points. I activated my assistant manager. This was my strategy over the next 3 game weeks. But I think what was probably the most disappointing thing for me is I was watching that what's it called Brentford Chelsea match, man, and my guy Thomas Frank should have got more points. Brentford they missed too many chances in that game. I knew this was going to be a banana skin for Chelsea. I knew like there was enough odds here to kind of work out my favor where he could get me some good points in the tables. I think I was just disappointed I didn't get more points from him just from watching the game and just seeing how it could have very easily played out even much better for me in terms of going for Thomas Frank. So I'm definitely gonna have to think about that next week because I'm for people who are not aware at this stage. The way the assistant manager chip kind of works is that you activate it and then to make transfers you have to then like have the money in your bank. So now and it also costs a transfer as well and they also cost money. So there's a lot of factors that kind of go into picking your assistant manager and kind of the strategy of do you keep the same one all 3 games or do you change it for someone else if you think they have bare fixtures. So I think that's going to be my kind of big decision making going into this next game week. So I was a bit disappointed with the 10 points from Frank because I know Eddie Howe was another manager I was looking at and he got 11. So again, it's kind of like it could have played out a bit better for me maybe if I'd gone for Eddie Howe. Maybe now that might change my decision in terms of going into this next game week, whether I was going to keep Eddie Howe or maybe. So I think that's not a factor or the little downside of Brentford not getting that win over Chelsea when they looked so promising. But other than that, I think, what really worked out for me this week was, definitely the Newcastle assets. Like, Newcastle definitely paid me off very well. Like, Livermento, like the clean sheet 3-0 win for them was very, very lovely. I think, Vardio too, the clean
Assist as
sheet.
well.
Yeah, assist too. So no, he got me. He got good points. Yeah, Vardio too, the clean sheet against United, that was very nice. And then Murphy, again, I was looking at because I think I was looking at my bench and I said, "Oh, who was I gonna drop?" I said, "Yeah, Murphy Star." This is definitely a move that, in hindsight, I probably would have maybe made a different choice in that Star choice going, but we'll see what I'm gonna do this weekend. And yes, Emmanuel finally paid me back because he's definitely been a player that I've had for a while now. He just has not returned anything good. So I'm very happy that he at least gave me something. So he's another one that he's probably just saved himself a transfer at the last moment. And then Mateta did well, got me the 8 points. Yeah, all in all, I think the assistant manager kind of worked out decent week compared to the average. Could have been a bit better, but we move to the next week. I think I just need to do some thinking tonight before I'm ahead of tomorrow, just in terms of what I'm going to do with my team to make sure I capitalize. Because like I was saying earlier, in the stream, obviously we have our competition where we're going to see who finishes high in FPL. And obviously right now, you're still quite away from me. So I need to make some good moves to try and close this gap. So again, I think that's kind of like my thinking going forward. But we now can get into your team. You can let me know what you thought, how the week went for you, bro. Any players that you want to touch on or highlight?
Yeah, nah, this was a good week for me, man. Um, yeah, like it just was a good, like things just didn't fall. So like Konsa started him, he didn't start, he came off the bench, 1 point. Palmer didn't start, came off the bench, 1 point. Um, I think Captain Salah, yeah, like didn't do anything. I was hoping that Isak didn't do anything because
Yeah,
I
you
know a lot
saw
of
that.
people that didn't
Yeah.
captain Salah, captain Isak, and I was
Yup.
hoping. So when Newcastle winning 3-0, Murphy
Yup.
getting the goals, defenders getting the clean sheet, and Isak getting nothing. Oh my days, bro! I said I'll take that all day long because I was fearing the worst after that. Fearing the worst. I said, "Yikes, this might get ugly." So yeah, I was happy that Isak didn't. But then yeah, man, and then even on like the bench, I don't regret my decision um not starting Vardio because I looked at it and I was just like City should concede and they should have, but United are just bad in their finishing. So yeah, man, you got the clean sheet and the bonus points, but yeah, like I I still feel like I would have started him. Um but yeah, Konsa just I think with the Champions League games and Europe and stuff, like the rotational risks are
Yeah,
crazy right
yeah.
now.
You know
Like
that Emery loves it as well.
so the rotational risks, and I think it's with quite a few teams, like with the Arsenal players, you're looking at it and you're like, oof, okay,
Yeah,
then even Maresca's up to his tricks. So yeah, man, like I think those rotational risks is interesting. But yeah, I've still got what I was even going to say about the assistant manager as well. When you
mm.
noticed that you said you might have went to Eddie Howe. Obviously, you got to remember as well that you can only have three from one team in it. So if
Ooh.
if you went Eddie Howe, one Newcastle player has to go. So Thomas Frank probably was a good decision because you still got Livramento who got what 11.
Mm,
Murphy got 16, and Isak, even though
mm,
like Isak, he's a player that it's a very risky game going without him. So overall, I actually think the Brentford decision was a really good one. To be fair, because it meant that you still had three Newcastle assets and two of them pulled. So yeah, I think overall my team's just been this week it was all right. Like in the end, I guess if I'm looking from an optimistic lens, no, looking from a positive lens, because Isak didn't haul, and then obviously the Newcastle assets done
mm.
what they've done. But yeah, overall, man, I'm still gonna say bad week because just that Konsa not starting and coming off the bench, that Palmer not starting and coming off the bench, like
It definitely hurt you.
they're so annoying. So and then had the Vardio on the bench with the 9 pointers as well. So overall, not the greatest, but we move. I've still got to think about my chip strategy. Like I've still got triple captain. Obviously, there's bench boost, free hit, all of that. So I need to think about what it is that I want to do and when I want to kind of play the chips that I've got left. But yeah, overall is decent.
No, I hear that. And again, I only managed to close 21 points on you. So again, I need more of these kind of weeks, and that's also why I'm in a position where I also have to make more risks because that's also why I didn't go for the Salah captain. It can definitely hurt me one of these times, but I said, yeah, man, I know you're gonna do it, so I need to think outside the box. And unfortunately for me, Isak wasn't able to punish you in this case, but hey. It's gonna be a tight race, tight running. So we'll see how it kind of go and proceeds over the next few game weeks. And then we can look at the league leader right now because unorthodox change. 62 points, so we kind of split the middle between the two of us. I think kind of briefly looking at his team. Yeah, he also got the Murphy Hall, which was very nice for everyone who had him and played him. The Rodgers one, like I said, I think when I look at Sa, this is the one that disappoints me the most because I think this would have been a better asset than Sa, just in hindsight. So again, that's probably a decision I wish I'd made at the time when I did do my what's called wildcard team. So everyone who does have Rodgers, I think he definitely has paid dividends over the last few game weeks. Definitely got some big hauls. Munoz, yeah, good choice. And yeah, just in general, feel like it was an okay week for him as well. Maybe he definitely would be disappointed with the slot assistant manager. I was very surprised that he did that, to be honest, because again, I think with the assistant managers, you kind of really want to do it where one, you're just so confident that you're like the manager's going to win, especially if they're above or way above the team in the league that you're playing against. And I feel like the Everton, the what's it called, the Fulham match was I thought Liverpool were gonna win, but I still thought it was gonna be tight. I didn't think it was gonna be like 100%. So yeah, that
Mm.
was a choice that surprised me a little bit that he was that confident that he went for Slot as his manager choice in this one. But overall, he's definitely been making more right decisions than wrong ones, which is why he's leading the league. And obviously, I'm sure he'll be disappointed with the Vardy on the bench as well, because yeah, that would have been very nice for him. But all in all, I think it was a okay week. Kind of split the middle between the two of us. So yeah, that's kind of what the FPL league is looking like right now. Still all to play for when it comes to me and you, I guess, in our personal competition. Obviously, for people that don't know, you can see the FPL league code running through the screen right now. Definitely join in if you haven't joined in. And yeah, definitely, this is definitely something that we're going to continue in future seasons and future kind of future seasons basically. So yeah, hopefully if you want to join in now, then next season too, definitely join in and you can be a part of this. We'll shout you out if you're doing well. I feel like probably next season too, we'll probably go into a bit more depth and think about how we can maybe build up this section a bit more to kind of appeal to, I guess, a wider audience too. So if you have any ideas on that, please definitely do let us know. But yeah, it's definitely just something that we enjoy doing as football fans who, I guess, actually play FPL as well. So we can bring our football knowledge into our decision making too. So yeah, bro, I think that is the end of the agenda, end of the stream, end of the things I wanted to talk about. As always, I think it was a very good stream. Again, I think I'm going to put a reminder next to me that like 2 minutes in to just remind people to leave a like, comment, because it's actually so poor that we do this 2 hours into the stream. Obviously, everyone who makes it this far and then remember to say, oh, okay, let me like, we appreciate you. But obviously, we need to definitely do it earlier for people that maybe don't make it this far into the stream. But as
Mhm.
always, another enjoyable stream. A lot to talk about. Europe was very interesting. Next week is going to be, I guess, we're going to see the outcomes of all these big fixtures and see what's happening, where this is going to lead us. So yeah, definitely going to be a lot more to talk about next week. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, any final words from you, bro?
Hey man, as always, thank you to anyone who's tuned in, whether it's been for a minute, 30 seconds, half an hour, the whole stream. Appreciated. And yeah, anyone who's been supporting on the socials as well, appreciate that as well. And yeah, man, always open to feedback and yeah, like any messages as well. Like if you ever want to send like a message, you can leave a comment or you can like send us a DM on any of the socials as well. And yeah, we'll get back to you. But yeah, man, hope everyone has a blessed weekend.
No, 100. And I think final things, I think a couple of people we've spoken to about, I guess, coming onto the stream as well. So we're definitely going to start pushing on that as well over the next couple of game weeks to start getting some people on. I think that would be interesting to get some different voices as we kind of approach this kind of final end of season run, especially with Europe being so intense. And I guess teams that maybe are in that top five battle, how they're feeling. Because yeah, man, like you said, Chelsea, they need to make sure they get this Champions League football, and it's not going to be easy. But yeah, all in all, like definitely want to try to get some people on. So as always, if you are interested, whether you know us, you don't know us, please reach out to us. We'll definitely be happy to speak to different people and get some different voices and takes in future streams. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to end it on. If nothing else from you, bro, see you on the next stream.